Melchizedek stood upon the observation deck of the evacuation command center, his eyes fixed on the horizon where turmoil and hope intermingled. The deep creases on his weathered face told stories of years spent enduring loss and hardship. It betrayed both the grief of separation from his family that was softened by a resilient faith in the Creator's promise. Beneath him, the planet Nivrah writhed with increasingly violent earthquakes that shook the very foundation of civilization, a stark reminder that a transformation of cosmic proportions was at hand, a transformation beyond mortal understanding. Across the home planets, preparations were in full swing. They thrummed with frenetic energy. Every community, every settlement was abuzz with activity. In bustling marketplaces, vendors hurriedly packed away treasured heirlooms and photographs, while in quiet sanctuaries, prayers whispered into ancient stone walls melded with the hum of hurried footsteps. Families, in their final hours together, collected mementos that spoke of generations past, and elders recounted legends of salvation and rebirth. Yet amid the chaos of the impending cataclysm, Melchizedek's inner world found solace in a certainty that transcended loss. His inner resolve shone like a beacon. His heart, though still heavy with the absence of his loved ones, safely raptured by divine intervention, beat with the comforting rhythm of certainty. They now dwelled in a realm untouched by suffering. A week before that fateful day, scattered reports had trickled into military headquarters about mysterious disappearances. People were disappearing without trace, as if swallowed by an unseen force that defied the laws of nature, vanishings with no explanation. While many dismissed these vanishings as mere byproducts of nature's wrath, many also dismissed these oddities as hysteria in a world under siege of distress and panic. Melchizedek could not ignore the trembling echoes of a higher design. He sensed the stirring of a far grander plan. In a high-stakes meeting, military officials and scientific experts pored over data that painted a dismal picture, a future marred by chaos and loss. Voices clashed in desperate attempts to find rational explanations, their debates growing as fevered as the tremors outside. The discussion had grown filled with tactical debates on how to manage the unexpected vanishings that defied explanation. Then, as tension peaked, the oracle of Jebus emerged from the shadows of the assembly. His presence was magnetic, his penetrating gaze seemingly reaching through the veil of time itself. In a voice that was both gentle and commanding, the oracle cut through the clamor and stilled the room. "An event is coming from the Creator," he declared, his tone imbued with an unyielding certainty. "Wait until tomorrow." His words fell like a stone into the turbulent waters of debate, silencing the room and leaving each person to grapple with the impending destiny that now loomed large. A few hours later, the cosmos acted with divine precision. Across Nivrah and the other home planets, a miraculous rapture unfolded, a miracle that saw countless souls vanish in an instant, spirited away to realms unknown. In a single, breathtaking instant, countless souls were lifted from the earth, awash in eternal light, each vanishing a divine sign of a new beginning. Melchizedek's heart pounded with equal parts wonder and sorrow as he received a direct message from the oracle. He navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the command center with a determined gait, every step echoing his resolve. With measured steps and eyes glistening with a mix of awe and determination, he rejoined the leaders at the command center. In a vast chamber filled with hushed murmurs and tearful glances, the oracle reappeared. His form seemed to shimmer with an ethereal glow, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of countless lifetimes, and his presence imbued the room with a sense of imminent destiny. "Behold the Creator's will," the oracle intoned, his voice reverberating through the high-ceilinged hall. "All who were not meant for the evacuation have been gathered into the light. Trust in the promise that you will be looked after." His gaze swept the assembly, each person feeling as if they were the sole recipient of divine reassurance, instilling in them a personal reassurance as if the very stars had whispered their secrets directly into their souls. Then, with a soft smile that hinted at a destiny uniquely his, the oracle continued, "I shall not depart with you today." The enigmatic smile hinted at mysteries beyond mortal ken. "The Creator has ordained a different path for me. Farewell, know that the Creator is with you always." In that fleeting moment, as if cradled by the cosmos itself, the oracle faded away, leaving behind a profound silence that was as much a liberation as it was a farewell. The shock of witnessing the Oracle's ascension rippled through the room of the command center. Military officers exchanged glances of disbelief laced with hope, while scientists and evacuees struggled to reconcile the miracle they had just witnessed with the scientific reality they knew. The final words murmured in the wake of his departure, "The Creator is with us," became an enduring mantra, reverberating through the corridors, transforming into a mantra that soothed hearts and steered the course of every subsequent decision, a promise that guided every step in the chaotic hours that followed. For Melchizedek, the event was transformative. The long-held weight of grief began to lift, replaced by a burgeoning reassurance that his family had found sanctuary beyond the mortal realm. This renewed hope fueled his every action. He embraced his role in the evacuation. Each decision he made, every command he issued, was imbued with conviction that this was not the end, but a threshold, a passage into a rebirth of spirit and a reawakening of destiny. He could not feel anything but that the spirit of the Creator was upon him. Outside the military headquarters, the landscape of Nivrah's surface transformed into a canvas of elemental fury and breathtaking beauty. Earthquakes shook the ground. The once pristine cities adorned with spires that reached toward the heavens now stood amid a landscape fractured by the planet's convulsions. Towering edifices, built with celestial precision and harmony, trembled as deep fissures tore through the streets, consuming entire districts in their relentless hunger. The sky above was a violent tapestry of roiling storm clouds, flashes of ethereal lightning illuminating the world in ghostly hues of violet and gold. Ash and embers caught in the chaotic winds danced like dying stars against the backdrop of an unraveling world. Yet beyond the horizon, amidst the chaos, a different spectacle took shape, a promise of salvation. Soft luminescence, like the first glow of dawn breaking through a storm, flickered across the heavens as the evacuation Ark ships powered up for their final ascent. As the Ark ships lifted off the trembling surface of Nivrah, the story of that day became a legend. A celestial covenant between the Creator and the Chosen. Melchizedek watched as the ships soared into the stormy heavens. These were not mere vessels of metal and fire, but marvels of celestial engineering, forged with wisdom passed down from ages long past. Each ship, its hull adorned with shimmering panels of orichalcum and encrusted with intricate symbols of ancient prophecy, pulsed with an inner radiance that seemed to defy the destruction around it. Massive energy conduits surged with divine power, their latticework shimmering in sacred patterns, reflecting the Creator's covenant with His chosen. As Melchizedek stood upon the command dais, overseeing the final exodus, he felt the weight of eternity pressing upon him. Every tremor beneath his feet, every distant eruption, every anguished cry of those who remained behind. It was all part of something greater, something written in the fabric of the cosmos itself. He had spent lifetimes preparing for this moment, yet it had arrived with an urgency that took even him by surprise. Melchizedek's fingers tightened around the hilt of the ceremonial medallion he bore, a relic of his forebears, imbued with wisdom older than the stars. He closed his eyes, allowing the din of chaos to fade into the background. In its place, a deeper sound emerged, the whisper of the divine, the pulse of the universe itself. "It is time," he murmured, opening his eyes. "Initiate ascent." Across the evacuation zones, the great Ark ships roared to life. Their propulsion systems, far beyond conventional science, did not burn with destructive fire but instead emitted a soft, resonant hum, like a celestial choir lifting its voice to the heavens. Melchizedek whispered a silent prayer. He knew that the journey ahead was fraught with challenges, yet the Creator's hand guided every step. Columns of light erupted from beneath each vessel, their energy fields displacing the crumbling earth below as they began their slow and deliberate departure from the dying world. The evacuation was not just an escape, it was a transformation, an ascension of spirit and form that heralded the dawn of the Celestial Confederation, ascension of the 12. In the days that followed, as the Ark ships ascended from Nivrah's trembling surface, the extraordinary events of that moment wove themselves into the fabric of legend. Melchizedek felt an overwhelming sense of peace. His heart, once burdened with grief, now danced with hope. The Creator was with them, and in that divine presence, every soul would find its rightful place in the celestial order. And so, with a heart unburdened and a spirit resolute, Melchizedek embarked on the next chapter of the journey, knowing that the path of ascension was illuminated by miracles, faith, and the eternal promise of a new beginning. Those who bore witness spoke of it not as a mere evacuation, but as a divine covenant, a moment where the heavens reached down and cradled the faithful in an embrace of celestial grace. Sight of the fleet, their radiant forms piercing through the tempestuous atmosphere, became the stuff of sacred scripture. Yet Melchizedek's heart, though uplifted by the triumph of the moment, was not without the pang of sorrow. He had seen the rapture unfold, had felt the absence of those who had been taken into the eternal light. He had watched as loved ones vanished from the material world, chosen by the Creator for a different path. Their absence was a wound that no words could mend, a chasm that only faith could bridge. And yet, as he looked upon the ascension of the Confederation's last remnants, he understood. This, too, was destiny. Standing upon the launch ramp, bathed in the afterglow of divine intervention, Melchizedek cast his gaze skyward. The vast, starlit expanse above beckoned, a limitless ocean of possibility, of trials yet to come, of promises yet to be fulfilled. The winds howled around him, carrying the echoes of the past, the voices of those who had been left behind, and the silent prayers of those now journeying into the unknown. He let the moment wash over him, allowing himself the briefest reprieve to grieve, to hope, to steel himself for what lay ahead. With a slow, deliberate breath he spoke a final prayer, a prayer of gratitude, of remembrance, of unwavering trust. We walk the path set before us, not in fear, but in faith. As the last of the Ark ships vanished beyond the heavens, leaving only a luminous trail in their wake, Melchizedek turned from the crumbling world that had birthed their civilization. His journey was far from over. The Celestial Confederation had not merely escaped destruction, they had been transformed. The Exodus was not an end, but a beginning. The ascension of the faithful marked the dawn of a new covenant, a new destiny written among the stars. And so, with his spirit ignited by miracles, his path illuminated by unwavering faith, and his heart buoyed by the eternal promise of renewal, he stepped boldly into the radiant unknown, carrying the weight of his people's hope upon his shoulders. For though the ground beneath him crumbled and the past lay in ruins, the future stretched forth, a horizon waiting to be claimed by those who dared to ascend.